brown off the spot, and then Jak Jones flukes the blue. Well,
Jak Jones 5.
He stays in his seat. Zhao Xintong, what a turnaround that could be in this match. He takes
Zhao Xintong made a dramatic return to competitive snooker at the 2025 World Championship, defeating last year's finalist Jak Jones 10-4 in their first round encounter at the Crucible Theatre. The 28-year-old Chinese player was competing in his first major tournament since completing a 20-month suspension for his involvement in a match-fixing scandal that rocked professional snooker. The ban, which expired in September 2024, stemmed from Zhao's admission that he had been party to another player fixing 2 snooker matches in March 2022. As part of his punishment, he was ordered to pay £7,500 in costs by the World Professional Billiards and Snooker Association. Zhao was one of 10 Chinese players implicated in the widespread corruption case that saw Liang Wenbo and Li Hang receive lifetime bans from the sport. Zhao's return to competition came through the Q Tour, where he demonstrated his continued prowess by winning 4 consecutive events. During this period, he became the first player ever to record 2 maximum 147 breaks on the Q Tour circuit. These strong performances earned him a place in the World Championship qualifiers, where he battled through 4 tough matches to secure his Crucible return. His qualifying campaign included a 10-3 victory over Chung Ka-wai featuring 4 century breaks, a 10-8 win against Long Zehuang with 2 more centuries, a 10-4 defeat of Liu Haotian that included 3 centuries, a hard-fought 10-8 triumph over Elliot Slesor in which both players made 3 century breaks. At the Crucible, Zhao showed no signs of competitive rust against Jones, the tournament's 16th seed, who had reached the 2024 final against Kyren Wilson. The match began with a fortunate moment for Zhao, when a shot on the blue ball unexpectedly cannoned into the middle pocket. But from there, he dominated proceedings with his trademark attacking style. Jones, the Welsh Kierman, who had enjoyed a career-best run to last year's final, was thoroughly outclassed, as Zhao compiled breaks of 89, 70, 69, 67, 66, 63, 62, 60, and 55 on his way to a convincing 10-4 victory. The win marked a significant milestone in Zhao's comeback journey after his enforced absence from the sport. In his post-match interview, Zhao said, "Overall, I'm pleased with my performance, especially in terms of scoring. I put my opponent under a lot of pressure. Jak reached the final here last year, so I knew I had to play really well to have a chance of beating him." He added, "This match was about regaining confidence. I won't be back on tour until next season, so every match I play now is very important. I haven't had many opportunities to compete this season, so whatever the outcome, I just wanted to do my best and show my game." Zhao's next opponent will be compatriot Lei Peifan, who caused the biggest upset of the tournament so far by knocking out defending champion Kyren Wilson. Zhao acknowledged the challenge ahead, saying, "Lei has played brilliantly and has shown he's capable of winning titles. A lot of Chinese players are at that level now." Jones, despite his defeat, was full of praise for Zhao's performance. He said, "I don't see anyone who is playing better than him. If he wins it, I wouldn't be surprised at all, and that would be good for the game. His long potting and scoring are good, and he also has a good tactical game. There are players who have won a lot more, but I don't see anyone in the tournament who is actually better than him."
Ronnie, fantastic. Snooker's Ronaldo is back in town. We're absolutely delighted that you're here for a record-extending 33rd Crucible campaign. Those years have gone quickly, haven't they? Can you believe it? 93, your debut.
Yeah, 93, wow, yeah, a long time ago. I remember it coming out as a qualifier, experiencing the Crucible. Yeah, amazing venue, incredible tournament. It's been it's a snooker player's dream to compete here, you know.
The snooker world was stunned when 7-time world champion Ronnie O'Sullivan revealed he may withdraw from the 2025 World Snooker Championship if he experiences a meltdown before his first round match. The 49-year-old legend, competing at the Crucible for a record 33rd consecutive year, has endured one of the most challenging seasons of his career.
Have good mental health. What was the decisive factor that got you over the line and got you through the doors here this time?
I think I decided that if I didn't play this tournament, I was definitely going to start next season and start from the beginning and just devote all my time to playing to as many tournaments as I wanted to play, and in between that just practice and rest and have no other distractions. I thought I owe that to myself and to my career and to snooker. And then I was a little bit bored because obviously taking some time out, so about a month ago I got my cue out my case and just thought, well, just practice, there's no pressure on it, I'm not planning on playing anything. And we'll see how we go. And then
O'Sullivan has played just 2 competitive matches in 2025, withdrawing from 5 tournaments on medical grounds. His last appearance ended abruptly in January when he snapped his cue in frustration during the Championship League. O'Sullivan stated, "I'm not playing until Tuesday, so if I have a meltdown, who knows? I might still bloody withdraw. I hope I don't." The cue incident marked a turning point in O'Sullivan's season. After breaking his primary playing cue, an instrument he'd used for many of his record-breaking achievements, he struggled to find a suitable replacement. For months, he experimented with different cues, even attempting to play left-handed at one point. "I tried playing left-handed for a couple of months," O'Sullivan admitted. "I enjoyed it, but I can't compete left-handed against these guys." He eventually settled on a new cue that had been sitting unused in his collection. "I've got a cue. I got given it. I've had this one for 3 or 4 months sitting in a rack. I tried it out and it was okay." Despite hitting 2 maximum 147 breaks during practice sessions at his academy in Saudi Arabia, O'Sullivan remained cautious about his tournament prospects. He said, "It's a lot of difference hitting a 147 in exhibitions to coming at the Crucible and playing the best players in the world." O'Sullivan's challenges extend far beyond equipment issues. The snooker great has been remarkably open about his mental health battles this season, describing periods where he couldn't bring himself to practice. "This feels different because I was a bit scared to go near the table," he said. "I didn't want to practice. I didn't want to hit the ball. There were so many practice sessions that lasted like 5 minutes." The pressure of competition has become increasingly difficult for the veteran player to handle. "I've lost my nerve, maybe lost my bottle. That makes it difficult to go out and play," O'Sullivan said. "Even when I went to Saudi Arabia to do the exhibition, I felt quite nervous just exposing myself to the scrutiny and judgment." In a potentially significant development, O'Sullivan has reunited with sports psychiatrist Dr. Steve Peters, who played a crucial role in 4 of his 7 World Championship victories. Their partnership has historically helped O'Sullivan manage the mental demands of top-level competition. The reunion suggests O'Sullivan is taking his Crucible challenge seriously, despite his public doubts. "I'm surprised I'm here, but I'm here," he said, acknowledging the effort it took just to arrive at the tournament. O'Sullivan has set remarkably modest goals for his World Championship campaign, a stark contrast to his usual confident demeanour. "I don't have any expectations," he stated. "I'd just like to not feel all at sea out there. If I can just play and at least feel semi-competitive, I'd be happy with that." When pressed about his chances of winning an unprecedented 8th world title, O'Sullivan was blunt. "Could I win the whole thing? I doubt it. I'd be very happy to just give Ali a game." The snooker legend believes age is becoming a significant factor. "I'm nearly 50 now, and there's a lot of young guys who are hungry and competing all the time," he said. "It's a bit different to say 2012, 2013. I feel like a bit of an old man clinging on." O'Sullivan's preparation for the tournament has been far from ideal. A recent practice session with Barry Hawkins left him so discouraged he considered quitting. "I practiced with Barry Hawkins for a couple of days, and on the second day, it was that bad I quit," he said. Hawkins offered some reassurance, telling him, It's not as bad as you think. It's just maybe concentration. O'Sullivan said, so I held on to that. O'Sullivan's first-round match against Ali Carter is one of the most anticipated opening clashes in recent Crucible history. The pair have a storied rivalry, including a heated encounter at the 2024 Masters that saw physical contact and verbal sparring. O'Sullivan has previously described Carter as not a nice person and a nightmare to play against. Carter, a two-time World Championship finalist, represents one of the toughest possible first-round opponents. The match is scheduled for Tuesday, April 22nd, giving O'Sullivan several days to finalise his preparations or reconsider his participation. It's Friday now. I'm not playing until Tuesday, O'Sullivan said, leaving the door open for a potential withdrawal. While O'Sullivan hasn't announced retirement plans, he's clearly contemplating his future in the sport. I'm not quitting just yet, but I will give myself 2 years to try and figure it out, he told the Daily Mail. The snooker legend wants to avoid ending his career on a low note. I don't want to finish my career feeling like I wasn't really performing to the level that I know I can, he explained. I don't have to win tournaments, but I just want to feel like I'm enjoying the game. I'd like to go out with a smile on my face. The snooker world awaits Ronnie O'Sullivan's decision about competing in the 2025 World Championship at Sheffield's Crucible Theatre. The seven-time world champion has not played a competitive match since January's Championship League, where he snapped his cue in frustration during a match in Leicester. Mark Selby, who witnessed O'Sullivan's distress firsthand, has spoken openly about his concern for his rival's well-being. I was at the Championship League when Ronnie was there, and I spoke to him afterwards, Selby said. I could see that he wasn't right. Knowing how I was, you can sort of see it in people now and pick it up. O'Sullivan's withdrawal from subsequent tournaments, including the Masters, has raised questions about his participation in snooker's most prestigious event. The Rocket currently sits 35th in the one-year rankings after his extended absence from competition. Selby's empathy stems from his own battles with anxiety and depression. The four-time world champion has been candid about seeking professional help, working with a London-based doctor for 6 months to manage his condition.
Dr. Lanka from London actually, and he sort of told me how to sort of control it a little bit more. The way he explained it is though it's like losing a loved one, you know. He said you'll never get over it, but you sort of learn to deal with it a bit better. And before, the position I was in, it was all new to me, you know. I didn't know, it just hit me from nowhere. I mean, he said, I explained to him all the stuff I'd gone through in my past, and he said I'd been suffering for a while and not known, you know. I was waking up, I was just thinking like, people feel crap some days, you know, some days you feel good. But he said it was like a combination of like that building up, and then sooner or later it's basically like a bottle of Coke, you know. Once you shake it, you open the top, sooner or later it explodes. And then, like I say, it hit me from nowhere, but obviously working with him, I sort of...
The Leicester player described how he nearly withdrew from last year's World Championship due to mental health concerns.
Looking back, it didn't. I probably shouldn't have played, but, you know, I've learnt from that and know that if I'm in that position again, then no matter what tournament, I won't play.
During January's Masters tournament, O'Sullivan and Selby participated in a groundbreaking discussion about mental health on Eurosport. The exchange revealed startling truths about the psychological demands of professional snooker. O'Sullivan stated,
You know, to be there for the players, because it really is tough mentally. I mean, if he's struggling mentally, and I struggle mentally, and John Higgins struggles mentally, then the other 124 are 1,000,000% are struggling mentally.
Yeah.
Selby agreed, saying, everyone's mental health situation is different, but we all need similar coping mechanisms. It's never going to completely go away, but right now I'm managing it well. The conversation highlighted the isolation inherent in individual sports.
You know,
You're playing bad and you're struggling, you get caught out. Like Ron said, football, if you're playing bad, the team still wins because you've got 10 people supporting you, and no one sees your performance playing bad. You know, the team wins, and I think...
But when you're younger, I think when I used to play football as a kid, the reason why I wanted to play snooker was because I didn't want to rely on anyone. I don't know if you felt the same, but I thought, no, I'm going to take snooker up, because I thought, I've got these 10 teammates here. And it's not doing it. I've got to, like, am I going to put my faith in someone else?
Both players advocated for structural changes to support players' mental health. O'Sullivan proposed hiring dedicated professionals at tournaments.
We should have somebody, like at football, they have masseuse, people sorting out injuries. I think at snooker, they should have someone at the tournament employed as like someone struggling, they've come off the table. Do you need to have 10 minutes for someone? I'm not saying everyone will go in there. I just think for the because a lot of players suffer in silence, basically. I can tell, I just look at them, I go, you know, they're struggling, but they should have someone to go to and talk to. I think that's so important. You know, you have coaches sorting your cue action out, but really, you need someone just to like unload a bit. I think it would really help the players. I know.
He suggested, Selby supported the idea, recalling how he found therapy most effective with an objective professional.
What I've learned from it, when you tend to open up more to someone who you don't know. Like when I was speaking to that doctor, because I didn't know him, he was saying, right, obviously tell me what. But if I was to like sit there and try and open up to one of my friends, I couldn't do it because I'd felt like they'd be hurting as well, listening to how I'm feeling, sort of thing.
The discussion revealed that even top players like Gary Wilson struggle silently.
And probably don't want to speak out or scared to speak out, you know. But if they've got someone like that where they can just go in a corner and just speak to them one-on-one, they'd probably feel more comfortable doing that than like...
I mean, and the guy would be busy. Whoever they employed, he would be a busy man.
And a lot of the time when...
Mark Williams articulated what many in the sport acknowledge privately. O'Sullivan's participation dramatically affects tournaments. All events are brilliant when anyone wins, but with Ronnie, it's different class, Williams told Metro. He packs venues, whether it's the first round or final. Sponsors are happier. The buzz is unmatched. Williams noted the commercial reality. The crowd comes to see him. There's no one else who draws like that. Industry estimates suggest O'Sullivan's matches generate 30 to 40% higher ticket sales and TV ratings. On April 16th, O'Sullivan ended speculation by confirming his participation via TNT Sports. He announced, "I'm proud to continue my record of never missing a World Championship." The 49-year-old revealed he'd been preparing with a new cue. "I've enjoyed good practice sessions and feel ready for the challenge," he said, while acknowledging the difficulties of his season. His first-round match against Ali Carter renews one of snooker's most contentious rivalries. Carter, who qualified despite an excruciating neck injury, offered only a terse no comment when asked about facing O'Sullivan. The 2025 championship comes amid growing awareness of mental health challenges in the sport. Statistics show 78% of professional players report anxiety before major matches. 43% have experienced depression during their careers. Only 12% have sought professional help. Selby's openness about his struggles has encouraged others to speak out. "What people don't see is the doubt," he said. "I might look confident at the table, but that's not always the reality." The World Snooker Tour has increased mental health resources in recent years, but players argue more is needed.
It's not about the money, you know, he doesn't need the money, Johnny doesn't need it. It's just pride of performance. It's, you know, you want to put a show on for the crowd, you want to put a show on for yourself, you know, you want to play well. It's such a, you know, and when you don't, it can really, like, drive you crazy. You know, so and sometimes just a little 5-10 minute chat, you can go, I'm alright, I'm alright now, I can go to sleep, I look forward to tomorrow instead of going back and beating yourself up. Because
defending champion Kyron Wilson begins his title defence on April 19th. The 49th World Championship runs through May 5th at the Crucible, where O'Sullivan could tie Stephen Hendry's record of 7 modern-era titles. The tournament will be broadcast globally, with O'Sullivan also appearing as a TNT Sports pundit during the opening weekend. His presence, both on and off the table, continues to shape snooker's most important event.
But needs to be on a colour.
Well,
oh dear me, what a shot that was.
it's